Hello. This is another lesson from the Tango course in podcast format. If you haven't seen the previous lessons yet, I'll leave a card up here for you to click and watch from the beginning. My name is André Franco, and today, we're going to study an important concept of tango, connection with the floor. In the tango universe, a very important truth stands out. It is fundamental, so pay close attention to what I'm going to say now. The relationship with the floor is the beating heart of tango. Far beyond the obvious, that we dance on the floor, tango demands an intimate and constant connection with it, with essential practical objectives that provide a more refined technique and strongly highlight nuances of artistic expression. As we delve into the deep universe of tango, we realize that this relationship with the floor is the foundation upon which the entire dance is built. Here lies the true essence of tango, a secret whispered only to the most attentive and experienced ears. In this lesson, we are faced with the great importance of understanding and applying this seemingly simple yet profoundly significant concept. For it is this connection to the ground that gives elite dancers their stability, balance, precision, and comfort while unleashing their full expressive capacity. If you haven't watched Lesson 3 of this course, go back and watch before proceeding. The waiting position we learned in the last lesson will be sufficient for a connection with the floor during pauses, but only during pauses, because in the last seconds that precede and follow our movement, we need stability, power, and control, so we must descend a little more. Furthermore, it is from the impulse given by the supporting leg that our movement in tango arises. Thus, this extra descent will serve both to give us stability and to allow us to give the impulse with the exact energy we want to impart to the movement. Thus, the extra descent not only prepares us for the necessary impulse in each step, but also allows us to modulate our energy according to the intensity of the music. If the note calling us to the next movement is strong and vibrant, our impulse must be equally energetic, requiring a deeper descent to obtain the proper impulse. In practice, we are faced with the challenge of coordinating the movement of the knees with the hips, ensuring that the latter remains in the opposite direction to the knees. It's an exercise in balance and body awareness, essential to perfect our technique and achieve the true essence of tango. Let's move on to the practical part. First, stand up in the position we learned in the last lesson, the one we call the waiting position or permanence. As we saw last week, in this position, the body should be relaxed, and the knees should be loose, relaxed, never stretched. This intention of relaxing the body, with the looseness of the knees, is the principle of connection with the floor because with the body and knees relaxed, our energy discharges into the floor, precisely as tango requires. At this point, let's focus on the moment when we're going to descend further. The fact is that this descent is a challenge because of the behavior of the knees in relation to the hips. Almost always, when the knees bend a little more, they tend to pull the hips forward, which spoils our descent. So, in principle, we need to figure out how to create opposition between the hips and knees whenever we descend. Never should the hips accompany the knees in the descent. We must, as an exercise, descend quite a bit, more than usual, to understand the opposite direction of the knees in relation to the hips. Do this exercise a few times. We should repeat the exercise several times, but descending less. The goal of this lesson was to understand the opposite direction between knees and hips because we will use these descents at every moment, and if our hips don't oppose the knees, our technique will be compromised in several aspects. Further along in our course, we will learn how each type of expression requires more or less descent, more or less connection with the floor. Now that you understand the concept, review the video that opens this lesson and notice how there are more or less intense descents all the time. Like this video, share it with other tango enthusiasts, and leave your comments. Thank you very much, and see you in the next lesson.